Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We've got another awesome G.I. Joe toy review for you today. Specifically, we're looking at the Pursuit of Cobra release of Duke as the team commander. So, this one, I guess, is the one with the really cool looking Gatling gun side arm things. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just open this thing up and do a quick review and see what it looks like. So, should be pretty cool. Stick with us. Conrad Duke Hauser, Team Commander. This is from the Pursuit of Cobra line, or the 30th anniversary, depending on how you want to look at it. It comes on a cool card art. I always have liked this particular style of card art. The actual painted figure, or painted background figure here, is a pretty good and fairly interesting stylistic representation of Duke here. He's got the nice little scar that they established in the movie, so it's kind of a cool looking thing. The figure itself is definitely a little bit of a departure from the traditional G.I. Joe versions that we've seen in the past. To me, it's always kind of looked like this is kind of a reject from Avatar or something like that. But I'm extremely intrigued because they do have this really cool laser cannon system that comes with this guy. So I'm interested in finding out what this is all about. Before we do that, let's look at the back of the card. Got the traditional Pursuit of Cobra card art on the back. The desert battle being highlighted here, and the file card and all this accessory stuff and blah 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 blah. Still cool. Copyright on this one is 2010 for those of you that are keeping track at home. So yeah, it's a cool looking figure. So if you're into keeping them mint on card, this would definitely look nice on the shelf. But we're not doing that. We're slicing it open. Dun, 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 dun. It does have the Hub logo on it, so they were playing some of the older cartoons on the Hub channel for a while, and I think they had some of the new Renegade stuff on there as well, which was kind of cool. But a nice better shot of the background here, the kind of world map thing going on. Very nice integration anyways. Cool, but it's trash now. We have the figure stand in this little separate accessory package, and we've got the cool little insert, and these are the ones I remember, the ones that are folded beyond all recognition pretty much. So let's open this thing up as best we can and see what cool stuff is on this one. There we go. This is the Desert Battle, highlighting Dusty and Snake Eyes. Well, that's a really bad picture of him. Anyways, the AWE Striker, and we've got the Cobra Hiss tank up here at the top. Very cool looking. I actually do like this poster. Very nice little diorama going on here. And on the back, we've got some of the other figures from this particular wave. Snow Job and Recondo and Beachhead and Dusty and Snake Eyes and another version of Duke. Cobra Commander, Destro, Storm Shadow, Zartan, Firefly, the Jungle Viper, and the Alley Viper. So yeah, this is pretty nice. We'll throw it to the side for now, come back to it later. More trash. Let's see what we got in here. We got a cool backpack. We got a cool rocket launcher. We got the figure, an assault rifle, the figure, which actually does look really nice, and these two cannon things. See if we can get them out of here. They're in here pretty tight. They're also rubber banded in, that I just now noticed. So you may want to slice those rubber bands off rather than just manhandling it out. Whoops, I just popped the hinge joint off. We'll put that back. Y'all didn't see that. There we go. So not a lot of accessories, but some very intriguing ones going on in here. This big cannon thing is really got me intrigued, and looks like I knocked off one of these cannon nozzles. Missiles maybe, I don't know. We'll see here in a second. So anyways, this is what you get in the actual set. So some decent accessories. And we'll just go ahead and zoom in here and start taking a closer look at this thing, because these cannons look pretty cool. We'll start with the traditional figure stand here. That's usually where I start so we can get it out of the way. This comes on the traditional 25th/30th anniversary figure stand. Nice raised G.I. Joe logo up here at the top. Code name on the side. Nothing really on the bottom, so figure stand, it's cool. We'll move on. Rocket launcher. Let's go with it first. Get it out of the way. Some really nice looking detail work on this thing. It looks cool, and it's actually looks like it's a handheld one as opposed to a mounted one. I know we've seen some of these in the past that are actually mounted. So let's see what it looks like here. I'll stick it in his hand here, and it's fits on his shoulder pretty easily. So yeah, pretty nice looking. We also have this little peg thing here in the back. I don't think it's quite... Yeah, it's a little bit oversized to use in his backpack, but it does actually fit in there, so you can peg it to his back and let him run around with it, and he can pull it out from behind him. So pretty nice. I don't know if that was intentional or not. And we also have a hole in the actual backpack itself, and that works pretty well, so you can dual wield the backpack and the big cannon. And as you may have noticed, we haven't got there yet, but you can also plug the actual assault rifle into the same place, but not at the same time, unfortunately, because we're out of space on the peg holes. There are 2 peg holes though. It's not quite enough room to peg both weapons in at the same time, unfortunately. Whatever. There's also another peg here on the side, so if nothing else, you can peg the assault rifle on the side, so you can hold it and the assault rifle and the thing at the same time. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it works that way, so we'll assume there was some kind of intention there. But regardless, nice detail work on this here bazooka, RPG, whatever you want to call it. I like this thing. This is cool. Let's go to the assault rifle. Some nice detail work on it. Also has the 2-tone paint job here, the nice glossy black, and the kind of muted gray color here. Very cool looking. The handle's a little bit oversized, but you know, not going to take points off for that. So yeah, very cool looking. We had just started talking about the backpack, or looking at it, so let's jump to it real quick. This nice kind of metallic blue color here, and some really nice weathering effects. This gunmetal gray going all the way around it, so it is a nice job on that. Pegs into his back easily, as you just saw, and it does have the 2 pegs on the back, so you can put in either weapon here. Just unfortunately not both at the same time, but both the weapons do fit on here, so that's pretty awesome. There's also these two little pegs at the top here. Those are meant for these crazy cannons. So, before we get into that, let's look at the cannon itself. We're jumping around a little bit here. It's fine though. So we have two of these cool looking, I don't know what they are, some kind of laser cannon things. They're on a hinge joint here, so they will rotate up and down. These things pop off fairly easily, so no big deal there whatsoever. Though, we may do something with this here in a moment. Anyways, these barrels, whatever they are removable. You just pop them out so you can use them as missiles. Whoops. Missiles, grenades, you can, pretend they're whatever you want to. If you'll notice real close here, if we can see this, there is a pattern to the actual way they peg in here, and on the back of the actual missile, we'll call it for right now, that same pattern is there, so they should only fit like one way. You can get them to go in the other way, but it fits in a lot smoother if you line up the little half circle thing before you try shoving it in there. They mostly stay in there pretty tightly, so just tapping it, they don't fall off at least. So that's a nice little job there. Again, some nice detail work on this thing. Some nice little paint apps going on there, and it's got the same kind of scratchy looking weathering effects here with the gunmetal gray going on and the blue. You also have this really cool wire sticking out the back end and a cool little plug hole there. The way this is supposed to work, this little hinge joint thing plugs into the actual backpack like so, and then this wire plugs in beside it like so, and that's how it gets power. And then you can rotate it up and down as you see fit. Pretty nice looking. You can rotate it up the other way as well so that it sticks up a little bit more, gives you a little bit more elevation on it. I don't really know which way is the right way, so because of that, we'll say there is no wrong way, so it's whichever way you want it to go. The other cannon is essentially the exact same thing. We will plug it in the same way, and then plug in this cool little wire here to the side, and they both rotate up, rotate down, all that good stuff. Taking the figure itself, plug the backpack onto the character's back. And there we go. Then these things rotate down. And you've got a cool little rocket launcher system going on here. Pretty nice looking, to be honest with you. It's a little bit weird for Duke to be having stuff like this, but regardless, it looks really cool. That's pretty awesome. Then they'll just rotate back up when he's not firing with them. And if you need to, they'll rotate back down to kind of be a little bit less conspicuous, so you can walk through the doorway, I guess. And they just flip up and you can start firing. So yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. They do kind of pop out a little bit here, there, and abouts. They're just really a loose hinge joint there, so no big surprise there. But it is actually pretty awesome looking. I'm actually really impressed with this particular gear get-up. Yeah, cool. Let's move on. Pop this backpack off of him for a few minutes and look at the figure. Come on, let go. There we go. Before we move on to that, So obviously the little peg holes in the back of the thing is for this thing to plug into. But just so you know, if you were to pop this off, you can then take this particular weapon and plug it into the back right there. And then you can carry both weapons that way. And you can actually use that as a hand grip. Slightly oversized, but it still works. You can turn it up this way if you prefer, and use it more like an actual rifle. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do with this particular figure. We'll put it back together the way it's supposed to be. How's that? Something like this. Something like that. Anyways, let's move on to the figure itself. Duke here. He actually looks really cool. Aside from the big cannon that's overshadowing him for the time being, but pretend like we haven't looked at that yet. The actual Duke figure itself is a really nice looking sculpt. The actual head sculpt is slightly weird. Not too bad. Let's see if I can get it to focus in on this for us. He does have that little scar going on. And you know, away from the packaging itself, it looks really cool. Looks like a nice looking Duke here. Has the nice kind of bluish gray metallic armor on his front, and it's got the nice carryover of the kind of scratchy gun metal gray thing going on as well. So nice weathering effects. How's that? We'll just put it that way. Same thing going on in his knee pads. So it's a nice little touch they put in there. All in all, some really nice detail work going on in general on this figure. It just looks really nice. Get in a little bit more focus on that. So yeah, very cool looking, to be honest with you. I do like this sculpt quite a bit. It's got a nice little G.I. Joe patch on this shoulder there, so pretty cool looking. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. You may have to tilt it up a little bit to get around the collar on his shirt, but nothing big. A little bit of up and down motion going on, nothing too outstanding, but still does work. Traditional ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. Ball and swivel at the, ball and swivel, sorry, at the elbow joint. Looks like he's just got a swivel joint at the wrist. We've got the mid-chest twist feature going on here, and also the ab crunch feature. So lots of articulation there. Pretty nice looking. Traditional T-hook at the hip joints. Full range of motion there with his legs. Double knee joint. A little stiff on this one, but very nice looking. And the traditional ball and swivel at the ankle as well. So full articulation all the way around on this guy. The only thing I will point out as being a little odd is that they've made his the bottom of his boots this nice glossy black, and the top of his boots is that more matte color black. Yeah, not that big of a deal, but just something to point out. It's a little odd to me, but it is what it is. So all in all, this is a really cool looking Duke, to be honest with you, if I hadn't said that already. Grab his cool weapon here, throw it on his side, and we'll gear him back up with the crazy laser cannon backpack. And he technically still has room for his big bazooka. Though I don't know why he would technically be using the bazooka at the same time he's got these other rocket launcher things going on. but it's nice that he can carry all of his weapons at one time. Pretty cool. And again, you can always unplug some of these cords going off the back and hold it in place that way without any major issues, so it looks a little bit more traditional. So yeah, I'm really actually very impressed with this figure, if you hadn't caught that already. They did a really good job with this thing. So yeah, this thing is gonna make the mark of highly recommended because it's pretty much that awesome. Even without the cool backpack part rocket launcher thing, the figure itself is really a good sculpt, and they did a really good job with this one. So yeah, he would get highly recommended even without the backpack. But yeah, can we put 2 highly recommends on here? 2 thumbs up, that's what we'll say. So that's all the time we have for today, so thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of this particular figure. And let us know how we're doing and what you'd like to see in future episodes. Till next time, Yo Joe.